Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And, you know, energy security is national security. We've heard that over and over again. And when we were in the last time we were in the majority, we passed the Congressional Review Act. And what it did was, revise a lot of the regulations, update a lot of the regulations around oil and gas industry. And what we saw, we couldn't believe. We became energy dominant. And we had the power to control the cost of a barrel of oil. That, to me, is maybe the greatest power that you can experience. In fact, we drove it, market price was $30, $40 a barrel. We created an oil war, went to $7 a barrel. And now we're, what, 90 to 100. It's been over 100. And Mr. McNally, he said it's going to fluctuate even more than that. But in fact, we did this throughout the economy, and Ms. Jackson, everybody benefited. It was the greatest economy I've ever seen in my lifetime. So there's no secret that President Biden and his administration have declared a war on fossil fuels. I mean, he said there will be no more drilling. I think that was a quote. And so we see what's happened now. In fact, back in the greatest economy, we had 1.26% inflation. And Mr. McNally, how can we unleash oil and gas industry and become energy dominant again? Is there a secret sauce? I mean, to make both, yes.
Well, again, if I could rephrase my attempt to answer Congressman Eschew's very good question. Get back to all of the above and get honest data and analysis. If we can just do that, we'll be in a much better place. To his credit, President Obama, to his credit, helped get rid of the crude oil export ban, which directly threatened the shale oil boom, and recognized not only was that good for our energy production, but helped us offset the loss of Iran, which we were sanctioning and so forth. He understood that transitions are multi-decade affairs, and he, to his credit, thought that gas was part of the clean energy future. But as you have pointed out, we have moved to keep it in the ground, to a war on fossil fuels, and that must end. And I think, honestly, if we could just get back to where we were in the last few presidents, including President Trump, where it's all of the above, we can unleash, our energy potential.
So, Congressman, it started with great innovation by the member from Texas. The Permian Basin cost year by year was dropping because of innovation. That allowed us to drive prices down globally as a result of that innovation. Then the federal system and the state systems allowed things to get built to move that energy to where it needed to go.
So let me ask you this. Would it be fair to assume that free market drives prices down, government intervention drives prices up?
That is the irony of what we're seeing today.
Okay, so what we've done, I was on the House Energy Action Team, and I met with I was a small business owner. I met with a lot of small business owners who were in the business of drilling and refining. They're out of business. They were driven out of business. If you have more demand than you have supply, guess what? The price is going to go up. Now, obviously, if you're one of the few companies remaining, you're going to benefit from that. Now, how do we reverse that? We got to open up the free markets, and then you will drive down prices. I mean, there's no secret to the way our economy works. As far as, also I wanted to ask you a quick question, I got about 45 seconds, about Russia being the leading leader in exporting enriched fuel. And of course, the strategy was to urge for U.S. Production of our own nuclear fuel. I've got Vogtle 3 and 4 hopefully coming online. We got plenty of electricity in Georgia. In fact, you're probably going to have to bring your car to Georgia to charge it at some point in time. But can you give me a little background on that?
So Russia has almost half of the global enrichment market. The biggest exposed country to that is the United States. If Russia tomorrow decided to stop exporting their enriched uranium to us, over the course of a couple refueling cycles, we might lose half of the fuel needed to run the nuclear power plants. That's 20% of the country. That's 10% of the power plants would be at risk of not having fuel.
Well, I would hope that this Congress will do something about that. Thank you. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields. Chair